Hi, hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Anuradha Jindal. I'm a dermatologist. I'm MD in dermatology. I'm currently doing a fellowship in aesthetics, laser medicine, and dermatosurgery. I'm practicing in Bangalore, Venkat Sharmalya. So today, I'll be dealing with some important points regarding baby skincare. Yes, I'll be dealing with your questions. I'll be taking them towards the end of the presentation or in between if you like. Okay? So, shall we start with the presentation? So first, I'll be telling that why do we need a special skincare regime for neonate skin? Okay. So see, the neonate skin is not same as adult skin, right? As you can see in the picture, these are the pictures. On the right hand side, you can see a baby skin picture, and the left hand side, you can see an adult skin picture. So you look at the adult skin, the skin is much thicker. There are more number of layers. As you compare to the baby skin, the skin is finer, right? So the adult skin has slower rate of water loss. It has more natural moisturizing factors. It has more melanin pigment. Whereas your baby skin has faster rate of water loss. That means it absorbs more water, whereas it loses more water also. It has less moisturizing factors. That means you need to apply more moisturizer. It has less melanin pigment. That means that the protection from the sun is lesser as compared to adults. And the cells are also smaller in size as compared to adults. Moreover, when the baby is born, when we are born, our pH of the skin is around 7, that is neutral. As we age, after around 3 months, our pH becomes around 5 to 6. So that means the products which you are using for adult skin, you cannot use the same products for babies, right? Because the baby skin pH is much higher as compared to adult skin. Because higher you go, higher pH soaps you use, it causes dryness. Even the lower pH soaps you use, that can also cause redness and irritation on the skin. So this is another picture which shows how the adult skin is. See, the cells are so bigger as compared to the infant skin, where the cells are so small, more compactly arranged. You see these water molecules, these blue cells are nothing but the water molecules. So if you see in the adult skin, the water molecules are very less. When you see in the infant skin, the water molecules are a lot. You can see a lot of blue bubbles there. But remember, infant skin absorbs more moisture, but it also loses very fast. So you have to make sure to rehydrate infant skin with the use of an occlusive moisturizer. So what are do's and don'ts for a neonate? So what is a neonate first of all? So neonate is your child when he's less than 1 month of age. So when you are using anything to clean the skin of the baby, it's better you avoid solutions which contain alcohol, which contain povidone iodine. They are not safe for children less than 1 month of age. They can cause irritant contact dermatitis. They can cause necrosis of the skin. You should prefer using chlorhexidine 0.5% without any alcohol in the solution. That will help. That will be better. It does not cause any chances of any reaction. So when you're cleaning the baby, when you're giving bath to the baby, make sure you focus on these areas. So which areas? First is face. So when the baby is eating food, a lot of irritants are there in the food. For example, milk. Milk also contains proteins which can damage the skin around the mouth. So plus their saliva is there. The saliva also contains enzymes which can damage the skin around the mouth. So it's very important to clean the face properly. Followed by neck. The neck, especially the babies who are little chubby, they are very prone to get infection on the neck, fungal infection of the neck. So it's very important you clean the neck properly and keep it dry. Similar with the folds and diaper area. So obviously your baby will be soiling with urine or poop. So it's better you clean every time whenever the baby soils the diaper or the cloth. So now when you're cleaning the baby, most of my patients ask, should we use any loofah, should we use any sponge, or there is no need to use anything absolutely. When you use your hands, it is soft enough and that much of cleaning is enough. So when you're washing, when you're giving bath to the baby, you should not exceed the bath time more than 5 minutes, especially when you're using soaps. The temperature of the water, it's good if you use lukewarm water. It's not ideal to use very hot water. Cold water or lukewarm water would be good. So if the temperature of your water is around 35 to 39 degrees centigrade, that is a good temperature for the water. Okay. Now, how often you should give bath to the baby? So now, normal babies less than 1 month of age, you can give bath once in 2 to 3 days. Do not give bath if your baby is having either high temperature or low temperature. If your baby is premature is when they are born before the age of 37 weeks of gestation. When they are very small, prematurely born, it's better you give bath only once in 4 days. That is enough. 50% of the infants, they suffer from some kind of diaper rash in their life at least once. So mothers can easily prevent this if they know more about how to take care of the diaper area. Okay. So now cleaning, we dealt with a lot of questions, but what should we use to clean? So many of our parents, and traditionally we have been using soaps. But soaps are not that good for baby skin especially. They have alkaline pH. The pH of around the daily soaps which are available in market is around 8. And the baby skin pH is around 7 or lesser than that. So you don't want to make your skin dry. Right? So it's better you use something called as Sindex. Sindex are synthetic detergents. They are called soap but no soap. Why so? Because the soap will have a pH of around 10 to 11 as I said, but Sindex they have a pH of around 6 to 7, which keeps it neutral. So that's why the skin doesn't get damaged. So better than soaps, it's better if you use a liquid cleanser. They also contain moisturizers. Make sure the preparation you are using for your baby, it should be fragrance free. It should not contain any kind of soap. It should not irritate eyes. And always remember, people fall for this very often. They see on the brand it's written natural eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil, lemon oil. Do not fall for these things, because these things, if not in proper concentration, can again damage baby skin. So natural does not always mean safe. So please read the label properly, see the ingredients, verify and then use, or better ask your dermatologist. Now hygiene of the diaper area. So what can you do for the diaper area? If your baby has soiled only with urine, you can just clean with cotton and warm water. That is enough. You don't have to use soap every time. If your baby has pooped inside, so it's better you use warm water, cotton along with slight soap, but mild cleanser. So after you give bath to your baby, now gently dry pat the baby with soft towel. Do not use any harsh towels. There is no need to rub the skin off. And immediately within 3 minutes moisturize the skin of the baby. So now why do we moisturize, and is there actually a need to moisturize? Yes. So if you look in this picture, this first picture is baby skin with oil on the top, and the second picture is skin without oil. So if you look in the first picture, it shows that there is less evaporation of water, whereas in the second picture there is more evaporation of water, so more water loss is there. So if you put oil on the skin, one thing is it will prevent the loss of water. Second thing, some of the moisturizers, they contain humectants. So these humectants, they take the water from the below of the skin into the upper part of the skin and keeps it moisturized. So you see, if you use a moisturizer, you can preserve, you can protect, and you can enhance the skin barrier of your child. So what kind of moisturizer should be used? In neonates who are less than 1 month of age, petrolatum based products are considered safer. And second best product usually sunflower oil if you want to use something at home and cheaper. Sunflower oil contains linoleic acid, which is one of the essential amino acids, which has also been shown to reduce the chances of nosocomial infections, or the infections which occur, acquired from other areas. And ideal moisturizer, I would say, for children more than 1 month of age, or even toddlers, would be a moisturizer which contains cholesterol, ceramide, palmitate and linoleic. Now, at least most of the moisturizers which come in the market these days, especially for dry skin babies, they contain cholesterol or ceramides. Other alternatives at home which you can use is virgin coconut oil. Now, the virgin coconut oil is different from the coconut oil which you use at home. Virgin coconut oil is the oil which is prepared within 24 hours after you harvest the coconut. So other option is mineral oil. Mineral oil is again derived from petrolatum. It is a good option that also can be used. It also has then olive oil. Olive oil is also a good option, but does not have any antimicrobial effect. But yeah, definitely in people from UK have been using it a lot. It has shown, few studies have shown good results also. Okay, so that was about baby skincare and why do we need to take care of baby, what product you should use for cleansing, moisturizing, how you should cleanse the baby, how you should moisturize. Now coming to aging skin. Now, there are a lot of aging signs which you will see on your skin and very subtle. They start appearing by the age of around 30 to 35 years and around 45 years you will definitely see those signs. So what are these signs? These signs are like fine wrinkles and lines which you see on the forehead, on the sides of the eyes, around the nose, around the mouth. Then those sunspots which you get, brown spots which you get around usually around the eyes and around the mouth. Redness or any loss of glow of skin. The skin generally stays dry, uneven skin tone. These are the usual skin complaints which you see in an aging woman or men. So, what are the signs of aging and how it occurs? So, aging, 80% of your aging is actually through the factors which are from the outside or extrinsic factors. So, first main factor is sun exposure. Second main factor is pollution. Third, lifestyle changes like smoking, your diet, and your sleep. All these things, they play a very good role in aging. That means if you have to work on, you want to age lesser, you want to reduce your rate of aging, you have to definitely work on all of these things, not only your skin. So first I'll deal with smoking. So there was with this very interesting study which was conducted over 79 identical twins, in which what they did is, so they took pictures of both the twins. So one of them was smoker for more than 5 years and the other was not. So this is a picture of one of the twin. So if you look in the picture, can you guess who is the smoker? Okay, maybe some of you would have guessed correct. So the smoker is right. If you actually look in the face closely, you can see how much forehead wrinkles are increased, how much the nasolabial fold and the wrinkles around the mouth have increased. Look at the difference in the chin. Look at the difference in the hair growth. All these things provide a point towards aging because of smoking. Similarly, in this picture also, both the ladies are actually twins, same age, identical twins. But look at the picture on right hand side. She has so many marks on her face, so many hyperpigmented marks. Look at hair. Her hair is so dry, rough. Whereas the other sister has better hair, right? So all these changes are only after smoking, which can be prevented. Now coming to diet. So what is good in diet? What prevents aging? So there is no magical formula, but your diet contains a lot of antioxidants. So the best diet till now which is studied for anti-aging is Mediterranean diet. So what is Mediterranean diet? Mediterranean diet is basically a diet which is very rich in antioxidants, linoleic acid, which is lower in meat, less eggs. So what you can eat? You can have a lot of vegetables, have a lot of colored fruits, nuts, seeds. Okay, so we have a lot of people online. Hi everyone. So I'm dealing with diet, how to prevent aging through use of good diet. So you should eat a lot of vegetables, fruits, nuts, legumes, reduce the meat intake, lesser eggs, and avoid sugars at all. Add a lot of vitamin C to your diet. Vitamin C is present a lot in citrus fruits like orange, lemon, guava, capsicum. All these fruits are rich in vitamin C. Vitamin C intake as well as vitamin C application, both are very useful. Avoid sugars. You know, sugars, all of these tempting sugary products, jalebi and Mysore pak, they all contain some chemicals which generate AGE. AGE is advanced glycosylation end products. So these products itself, they contribute to aging further. Always try to exercise at least every day. If not possible every day, try to exercise at least 4 hours in a week. That much should be sufficient. Exercise in form of anything which increases your cardiovascular rhythm. For example, cycling, walking, aerobics. These are all useful. So coming to pollution, we often ignore this factor. You know, but 20% of your aging signs which occur on the skin are because of pollution. So what does pollution do? Pollution contains, air pollution contains small particulate black dot-like matters, right? These cause oxidative stress to your body, to your skin, to your eyes, as well as to your bones. It has been seen in patients who were in Taiwan, they did a study. where they found that the areas which had higher air pollution, they also had more chances of bone resorption. Their bones were much weaker. So you see how pollution is not affecting only your face or only your hair. It is also affecting your bones, your organs. So to prevent the damage on your face, sunscreens are not very effective against pollution. But one thing is, if you follow a good cleansing regime, you daily night to cleanse your face properly, remove all the dirt and follow it up with a moisturizer or some serums which contain vitamin A, vitamin C or ferulic acid are very good for your skin. Okay, so now the last part, one part is sun protection. So sun protection can be remembered by the help of 5S. 5S means slip, slop, slap, seek and shade. So slip, that means slip on some protective clothes. So clothes which are good clothes to protect you against sun, clothes which are thicker in fabric, clothes which are full sleeves, clothes which are darker in color, they usually they protect you more from UV radiation. You know which is the best color? Saffron. Saffron is the best color. No wonder all those Swamis were wearing saffron on the hills, right? And of course hat. Do not forget a wide brim hat which will always protect you from sunlight along with a topical sunscreen. Okay, so now in the last presentation which I did 2 days back, I had dealt with the daily regime in which you should follow all the 3 steps: cleansing, moisturization and protection. Cleanse your face twice daily, moisturize your face twice daily and then protect your skin in the morning with a sunscreen, and in the night, especially for females who are more than 40 years of age, you can use a prevention serum. So what is this prevention serums? These are the serums which contain either antioxidants like vitamin E, vitamin C or vitamin B3, or they can contain some cell regulators which regulate the multiplication of your cell. These cell regulators are mainly derived from vitamin A, also called as retinol serums or tretinoin. You will come to know more about this from your dermatologist. Ask him or her which serum to use. They will definitely help you out with this. Daily night application for a minimum period of 2 to 3 months is necessary to see some visible changes. And do not forget to use your sunscreen in the morning and moisturizer in the night before you put a serum. And the other thing is, get enough sleep. There is some reason why we call it beauty sleep, right? So a sleep of at least 8 hours is necessary to keep your skin healthy and glowing. Okay, so now that was all about the skin, infant skin and aging skin. Now I'll be telling some things about fungal infection, because most of my patients which we see in our clinic, out of I think 10 patients, 60% of the patients are suffering from fungal infection, and I've got some requests from my patients to tell us more about the general tips regarding fungal infection. So first, I would like to tell everybody, please do not buy over-the-counter drugs. Do not go to a medical store or to a doctor who is not authorized to give you skin medications, because most of the times you will land up with an OTC or over-the-counter drug, and these contain steroids. So steroids, they modify your immunity in such a way that it becomes very difficult for us to treat in the future. Not only that, when you use steroids, your skin gets damaged. How? You get these stretch marks on your, whichever area you use, mainly over the abdomen, over axilla, in the groins, your skin becomes thin, irritated, red, and moreover it gets addicted. So once you start using it, you have to continue using it. Other general tips for my patients would be, keep your areas dry and clean. Take shower in the evening when you return from home. Do not be sweaty. If you're coming after gym or after swimming, try to take shower immediately after that. Protect yourself. Do not share your footwear, your socks, your comb, your towel, your clothes with any of the hostel mates, any of your roommates, any of your friends or siblings. If one of your family member has fungal infection, it's better to wash the clothes and keep the clothes separately as compared, do not mix it with other people's clothes. If you have some pet at home, then if you're petting the pet, after that, make sure you wash your hands properly. If you have fungal infection in foot, try not to wear very occlusive footwear. Try to wear loose shoes. Change your socks often. Try to wear wick socks which absorbs the moisture well. If you have infection in folds like groins or axilla, underarms, you can use some powders. So these powders also contain antifungal. So when you use powders containing antifungal, they wick the moisture. Do not let it go become wet and damp and cause fungal infection further. So regarding clothes, it's very, very important. See, the fungus which is staying here in your clothes does not die just with some amount of soaps and detergent. So what you have to do is temperature. It's very important. You use hot water for soaking your clothes for at least 45 minutes before you wash them with normal water. And then dry your clothes outside in sunlight and then iron them before you wear the clothes, especially from inside out. Okay, I hope I'm clear. So another thing I would like to tell everybody is that Indian government has made teledermatology as a legal concept now. So there is no need to hesitate. Please contact a dermatologist. He or she will be readily available to help you out. You just have to send some images and follow the rules. Send a disclaimer that you understand the situation. And out of our goodwill, because of this lockdown, we don't want any of our patients to suffer from this or any of you staying behind. So please, you can contact us. There is no need to hesitate. This is a free consultation we are giving to people around. These are the numbers. You can contact us on this number. Me or any one of our dermatologist team would be surely there to help you out. Okay. Okay, so now we'll go to the comments. Okay, hello everyone. So we have with us Geeraj, Bipin, Jhalak. Hi Jhalak. Vaibhav, good morning doctor. Good morning. Mohammed, Abhishek Gupta, Samir. Hi Samir. So Anjali has asked us, दाने कैसे होते हैं body पे? So I think Anjali is suffering from pimples, right? So, or maybe back acne. So these pimples, Anjali, if you're very young, around maybe 20s, so these pimples might be a usual problem because of your hormones, which you might be seeing. Or sometimes you get pimples on the back. So the reason behind all of these is usually increased oil production and increased bacterial or fungal colonization. Okay. So what you can do is, to avoid these pimples from coming again and again, wash your face twice daily. Do not let the oil stay on your skin. Okay. And use some salicylic acid containing face wash if your skin is very dry. Use foaming face wash. That will be very helpful for you. Okay. A few more people have joined us. Hi Ramesh. Hi Anup. Hi Kundan. Good morning, Kundan. So, Sivaraman has said good morning. Hi, good morning, everyone. Okay, so Dr. Nitika Kashyap has asked us how to remove dark circles naturally. Hi, Nikita. Nikita, I assume you are around 20s maybe. So the thing is, Nikita, there are a lot of reasons behind dark circle. First of all, most common reason is when we don't sleep well, when our nutrition is not proper. Then the other reason is some people by genetic constitution, because of the family history, only have eyes like that, they have pigmentation around the eyelids. Then the third reason might be because of hormonal disturbances like thyroid disorder. Some patients with metabolic disorder, when they have obesity, they can also get dark circles. So, there are a lot of things. Sometimes we have increased vasculature just below your eyes. So I would like to do something, Dr. Nikita. What you can do for me is go to the mirror, stretch your skin, eyelid like this and see. So if when you stretch your skin and if the pigmentation is coming down, that means the pigmentation is not there actually. It's a normal skin. But if you stretch your skin, you see the skin is still dark. That means it is something to worry about. Okay. There are not a lot of things I can tell you what to do at home. You can take care of your diet, have a lot of antioxidants, put sunscreen in the morning. And then, yes, maybe a night moisturizing cream would be helpful. A vitamin A serum would be helpful. There are not a lot of home remedies you can do at home because eyelid skin is very, very thin. It's very fragile. You should not be using anything and everything on your eyelids. The preparation should be very much monitored. Okay. Okay. I hope I have answered your question, Nikita. Okay. So, hi, Vinay Kumar. Good morning. Tushar. Thank you, Tushar. He said nice way of presentation. So Ranjit Naker has asked us diet to control hair fall and dandruff. Very good question. So, to see your hair, what is your hair? Hair is basically protein structure and sulfur. So, to increase your hair growth, it will be better if you have protein-rich food. So, protein-rich food, there are some protein-rich food available in market which are very good for hair growth, like quinoa seeds, flax seeds. These are very good. You can have more of eggs in your protein. At least try to have 4 eggs in a day without the yellow part, if possible. Then green leafy vegetables are very good for your hair growth. You can take some supplements. Supplements containing biotin are especially very useful, but I think your dermatologist will be more able to help you out with this. Other thing is stress. Reduce your stress. Stress also can lead to hair fall. Third thing is smoking. If you are a smoker, you have to stop smoking. It can significantly improve your hair fall. For dandruff, Ranjit, you will have to use some preparations which contain antifungals like ketoconazole. Then follow it up with a shampoo which contains ketoconazole and salicylic acid. I think your dermatologist will be able to help you out better. You can also message me personally and I can help you out more with this. Okay, Suresh Sure has asked us, Madam, which sunscreen is best? So, see, any sunscreen which has SPF above 30 is good enough. See, I get a lot of patients who are in search of, Madam, we are using 50 SPF, then there's no need. Any sunscreen with good fine texture, 30 SPF, if you apply every 4 hours is more than enough. Okay, you do not have to search for higher SPF, because sometimes formulations which have higher SPF also, they become very unstable and they get very oily. So I would recommend a sunscreen with good texture, 30 SPF, and repeat the application every 3 to 4 hours for full face and neck. And how much to apply? This is called as one fingertip unit. How much cream you take from here to here. So that cream into 2 times you can apply for face and neck, upper part of neck. Okay. Okay. Dinesh Ghai has asked us, query is, hello Mr. Dinesh Ghai. How much is time taken for nicotine to get out of human blood after quitting smoking? I mean tentative number of years and etc. So see, nicotine doesn't get deposited in your bloodstream like that. It is the effects of the nicotine which cause all the harmful effects. It's not like nicotine is staying after smoking in your bloodstream. That is why you're having the persistent side effects of after smoking also. No. When you smoke, what happens? Your blood vessels through which your blood is circulating, they constrict. Because of that, you get all these problems, your lip pigmentation, your hair fall, your skin changes. So, the effects of post-smoking on your skin and hair can still stay for so many years after you stop smoking, actually. Okay, Mr. Dinesh, I hope I have answered your question. Please let me know if you have any other questions regarding the same. Okay. Suresh Surya has asked, what is the good source of vitamin E? So vitamin E is present in a lot of topical preparations. Even olive oil has good vitamin E quantity which you can use at home. Otherwise, vitamin E is available in form of oil or creams and even in form of oral capsules. Hi, Miss Ruby Das has asked us, which face wash should I use to avoid pollution? So Miss Ruby, there is no face wash particularly just for preventing pollution. See, a face wash has a action of protecting you from pollution, sun damage and everything. So there's nothing in particular, but yes, it depends on your skin type. If you have dry skin, it's better if you use something creamy face wash. If you have oily skin, it's better you use some gel face wash. Okay. Thank you, Roshni. Okay, is there any home remedies for fungus? Mr. Suresh has asked. So, Mr. Suresh, at home, what you should do is, first of all, take proper hygiene measures, take proper measures with clothes. I cannot recommend you any food item out of your home which you can eat and which will help with fungal infection. But yes, there are few small studies which have shown that coconut oil is slightly useful and turmeric application is slightly useful. I would not still recommend it. I would tell you instead of home remedies, because we have seen so many patients relapsing again and again coming back to us, it's better you consult a good dermatologist and start oral and topical medicines. Along with that, take precautions, wash your clothes properly in hot water, dry them inside out, iron them, especially your underwears and your banyan, and then wear them. Okay. So, Miss Sapna has asked us, can benzoyl peroxide help reduce scarring? Okay, hi Sapna. Sapna, see, benzoyl peroxide is one chemical which is very useful for acne. It has anti-inflammatory property. It kills the bacteria called as Propionibacterium acnes, which causes acne. Okay, but it does not help in scarring a lot, but it definitely helps in reducing the pimples, which are newer upcoming pimples, and which are already there, to reduce the size of existing pimples. But with scarring, it does not help a lot. Sapna has asked us other questions. Psoriasis, can it be treated by diet? Sapna, thank you for asking this question. It's a very good and very helpful question. So patients who have psoriasis, right, they usually suffer from other disorders also, like, cholesterol disorder, lipid disorders. So patients with psoriasis should definitely have a diet which is low in fat, low glycemic index, okay, low sugar content, which should have less of butter, less of oily products, less junk food, and should have more of lean products like, pulses, legumes, fruits, vegetables, colored substances, because these all will help. Because remember, psoriasis is not just a skin condition, it is a systemic condition which affects your skin as well as everything from within. Okay. Okay, Mr. Dinesh Ghai has asked us, no sunscreen suits me, got super sensitive skin, have started getting freckles also now. What should I do before I step into sun? So, Mr. Ghai, yes, there are certain things you can do. First of all, there is nothing, most of the times, people do not get used to sunscreens very usually. Some people who have sensitive skin usually, because sunscreens contain chemicals which can irritate your skin. So, you have to find the correct type of sunscreen, because it should not be like you're not using the sunscreen. So you can DM me for further details in the same. Second thing is, whenever you're going out, apply your sunscreen at least 20 minutes before you leave your house. Make sure you apply at least 2 times of this much. Fourth thing, when you're stepping out, wear a hat. Cover your face properly. Best protection from sun is physical protection. There's nothing which can beat the measures which have been taught by your parents. Wear a full brim hat, wear full sleeves, button your shirt till up. Okay? And use some shades which will also cover the area, periorbital area, which will further prevent any damage to the skin. I hope I've answered your question, Mr. Dinesh. Okay, so Surya has said hello. Mujib has told us, ma'am, please tell us some natural remedies for psoriasis. So, Mr. Mujib, I cannot tell you anything from the kitchen which you can use for psoriasis. There are few things which you can do. First of all, psoriasis patient, yoga. It's very, very important. See, your skin and your mind is linked. So that means whenever you are stressed, it shows up on your skin, especially the disorders which are mediated through your immunity, like psoriasis, like patients who have lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus. They all get aggravated when they have stress. So reduce your stress. What you can do to reduce your stress? Yoga. Yes. Yoga is the best exercise for patients with psoriasis or even patients with vitiligo. Pranayam, you should try doing pranayam at least 5 to 10 minutes every day. Then other thing would be, I told about diet control. Follow those things, please. And third thing is, keep your skin moisturized. Never forget to moisturize your skin at least once in the morning after you take bath, within 3 minutes. All the same principles which I told for the baby skin actually. A patient with psoriasis or dermatitis can follow the same principles. Always cleanse your skin with mild things. Do not use harsh soaps, patients with psoriasis. And after that, follow it up with the moisturizer. More your skin is dry, more chances of your psoriasis getting aggravated. And the other thing you can do something at home is called as Puva Sol. Also called as phototherapy, which you can do at home using sun. Sol, S-O-L, stands for solar. So in this, you can take certain amount of capsule, or there are some medicines which contain psoralen. When you expose to sun, they all help in reducing the thickness of psoriasis lesions. Okay, Mr. Sunil Madan has asked us, hi Sunil, hello ma'am, very nicely explained, thank you. Very beneficial advice given, will be helpful from day-to-day routine. Thank you so much Sunil. Sunil, I have one more presentation which I have done only on daily care routine, people with dry skin and oily skin. You can watch the same presentation, it will be very helpful for you. Okay. Roshni Sen has asked us, my 14-year-old son is overweight and tend to get rashes near the private part. What should be done? Okay, Roshni Sen, I would like to ask you what kind of rashes is your son getting. If you can, please post me more details. Since how long the baby is having rashes, what kind of rashes it is. Is it only itchy or it has any other lesions, like it has some pus coming out, it has any fluid coming out from that area, it has any white dots around that area? If you can give me some more details, I can help you out with it, because most of the times what children get in that area is fungal infection. But still, I would have to confirm my diagnosis before I give you any advice. Okay. So Sameer Sahane. So Mr. Sameer has asked us, can you use moisturizer in an acne-prone skin? Mr. Sameer, thank you for asking this question, because most of the times I get patients and they tell me, ma'am, my skin is oily, I'm not going to use a moisturizer. Whenever I use a moisturizer, my skin gets pimples and more breaks out. See, remember, people who have oily skin, it's better to use a gel-based moisturizer. See, a moisturizer is something different from oil. Oil is produced from your sebaceous glands. These glands are located deep in your skin, whereas moisturizer is the lipids. They are the fats which are present in between your skin cells. Both are completely different things. If your skin is oily, does not mean your skin has more moisture. You still have to moisturize it. You have to protect your upper part of the skin. If your skin has more of oil production from below, that oil is not going to protect your skin completely and moisturize it completely. So you have to use an external moisturizer, but make sure it's a gel-based moisturizer, good quality, which it gets absorbed very quickly on your skin. Okay. Okay, Bipin Patel has asked us, ma'am, for acne-prone skin, what do you suggest? Cleansers which are to be used without water, just cleansing with cotton, or the ones with salicylic acid? Definitely the ones with salicylic acid if your skin is not very dry. Face wash or cleansers containing less than 2% salicylic acid are good. Cleansing only with cotton would not be very helpful in patients with acne. Okay, okay, Vaibhav Gala is top fan. Thank you, Vaibhav. One of my unknown person has brown dots across the body. Some areas in spots in group. This kind of spots indicate what? My special advice. Okay, Mr. Vaibhav, I'm not very sure that what kind of spots are you talking about. Maybe what your spots you're talking about, if they are on the face, they might be because of sun exposure. It's very common after 40s we get small raised lesions on the around the eyes, on the neck area. They usually because of aging or people who have little more higher weight, you know. But I would like to have some more details about the spots, because I'm not very sure what are we talking about to give you any advice on further. If you have some pictures, you can message me personally the same. Okay. Okay, Vaibhavi Thakur has asked us, my daughter is 4 years old, which moisturizer is good? So Vaibhavi, if your daughter's skin is dry, sorry, Vaidhi Thakur. So if your daughter's skin is dry, it's better you use some moisturizers which contain ceramides or cholesterol along with some essential amino acids like linoleic acid. So these will be good for your baby's skin. Be sure to moisturize twice daily, once in the morning immediately after bath and once in the night before she goes to bed. That way her skin will for sure stay hydrated. Okay, so Venkatesh has asked us, ma'am, give me some information about melasma face tips for long-term use. Okay. So melasma patients, see, first of all, where melasma treatment fails, that is sun damage. See, if you have melasma on your face, you are very prone for sun damage. So that means even if you're staying indoors, use sunscreen even if you are indoors, because the damage from your screens, from the heat, from the windows, from the door, especially females who are cooking in kitchen, the damage from the stove itself is so much that it can exacerbate melasma. Okay. Second thing is always moisturize your skin, keep the barrier intact. Okay. Third thing is some depigmenting agents. So these will lighten the color. Wherever you have the spot, there you can use these creams. So now patients with melasma, they usually get frustrated because the treatment is very long term. But I would tell them that melasma, if treated in the early time, that means, initially few months or year when you get it, it's very easy to treat. It responds very well, especially to procedures like chemical peels and laser, which are very good option with good results. But more you stay with it and keep it for 10 years, and after that if you take treatment, the treatment is not that effective, how much it will be in the initial stages. So try to consult your dermatologist as soon as possible. Okay, Vaidhi Thakur has asked us, suggest the diet for my daughter to gain weight. Vaidhi, I would like to say that have more of, you can add more of oil or slight fat to the diet with good amount of proteins like eggs and green leafy vegetable, and a small amount of antioxidants also like carrots, tomatoes, oranges. That would be good. Suresh Sure has asked, thank you. You're welcome, Suresh. Sandeep, I have a full black spot in my back side. What should I do? Sandeep, I need more details about the black spot, when it started, from how long do you have it, how it occurred, was there anything before it or suddenly it appeared? You can send me some pictures, message me personally, I'll help you out with it, okay? Dr. Nikita Kashyap has asked us, is there any treatment for hyperpigmentation? Of course, Nikita, there are so many. Hyperpigmentation is one of the main things we treat. There are so many options. There are creams which you can use at home. There are serums which you can use at home. There are face washes. Then there are some procedures you can do in a clinic, like, chemical peels, which keeps your skin, it exfoliates it regularly, keeps it glowing. You can do some lasers. That is also very helpful. Okay, Mr. Sunil Madan has asked us, hi Sunil, can acne patient apply moisturizer? As you told early that moisturizing and cleansing is required twice daily. Yes, Sunil, even an acne patient, as I emphasized earlier, should use a moisturizer in the night. A gel-based moisturizer is a good option. Do not use creamy or lotion-based. Okay, now Mr. Vinod Khanna, he has asked us, good morning madam, my 3-year-old baby is having black coloration in her thigh. How to reduce and how to get the clear skin? Is there any home remedy? So, Mr. Vinod, is the pigmentation in between both the thighs, where the thighs rub? Is your baby little plump, or is your baby on the leaner side? And how did the pigmentation start? Is it because of the friction, or was there any rash before it started? Did she have any itching or redness in that area before the pigmentation started? Yes, definitely there are creams which will help you out, but since your baby is little young, I would not recommend home remedies. But yes, apply coconut oil and lot of moisturizer. If you apply coconut oil, that itself will help little bit. You can, Mr. Sandeep, I consulted a doctor for 3 years, still it is not recovered. Okay, Mr. Sandeep, I don't know what is not recovered, please. You'll have to give me more details about it. Okay, Miss Nandini Sharma, she has asked us, I am a diabetic and I have psoriasis all over the body and it is becoming very itchy. What shall I do? So Miss Nandini Sharma, if you're having psoriasis since a long time, you must be on some kind of medication, I suppose, right? As I told psoriasis patients, to reduce the itching, moisturize your skin, keep the barrier intact, very important. Don't use very harsh soaps or cleansers. Stress reduction is important, and your diet modification by reducing the fats, oil intake, butter intake in your diet, sugars is important, okay? And because you're a diabetic, it is even more important for you to reduce sugars in your diet. Okay, Mr. Sameer Sahani has asked, ma'am, chronic urticaria can be cured permanently, and what precautions should we take in urticaria along with medication, especially in food habit? Okay, Mr. Sameer, chronic urticaria is little difficult to treat condition, but less than 50% of the time we are able to reach to a cause as to what is urticaria because of. See, urticaria is basically, what is urticaria? Urticaria is hives. We get those red raised lesions which come and go. People get lip swelling, people get eye swelling, okay? So that is urticaria. So to prevent urticaria, you should know why the urticaria is coming. So urticaria can come because of lot of reasons. It can come because of some infection. For example, I got throat infection, streptococcal infection, that can cause urticaria. I took some medicine, I took a painkiller, that can cause urticaria. If I went to a new place, that can cause urticaria. Maybe I eat eggs, I am allergic to egg, so that can cause urticaria. So first of all, you have to identify that what you're getting allergic to. The most common things, as I told, are infections, your diet, your drugs. See all these things. See in your routine, when does the lesions come more? In the morning time or in the evening time, or when you go out in sunlight, is it more? That means sunlight might be causing it. Some patients, they get urticaria to water. So when they take bath, after that they get it. Diet, see, diet is again not same. For example, I told I am allergic to egg. That means I should stop eating egg. It's not like all the urticaria patients will be allergic to egg. You might be allergic to fish. You might be allergic to chocolates. So whatever you're allergic to, you have to reduce that component of diet. There is no need to stop completely. But yes, there is definitely seen that patients who are allergic to some food item, when they take that food item, they definitely get skin lesions. Some of the food items generally which you can avoid are banana, kiwi, then colored foods like, Chinese food containing Ajinomoto. These red color which they put in food items in hotels. These things can cause urticaria by themselves, which should be avoided. Raw mango also can cause. Okay. So next is Samir Sahane. Okay, sorry, I've done with Samir Sahane. I think I've answered your question, Samir. Okay, next is Shibi Binu. Which moisturizer and sunscreen are helpful after 40s? So after 40s, it's better you use moisturizers which contain ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid again boosts the moisture of your skin, keeps the water bound in your skin, provides slight bounce and volume. And sunscreen, as I told, silicone-based sunscreens are very good for your skin type, especially with SPF above 30, and repeat the application every 4 hours. Okay, so Mr. Pranjal has asked us, hi Pranjal, that ma'am, please suggest diet and home remedies for diabetic skin. So diabetic skin patients, they suffer from a lot of skin problems. Some of the skin problems are joint problems. The skin gets hard over neck, over underarms, over hands. Okay. So in all these areas, the skin gets harder. Then sometimes harder skin on the joints. This is also faced. And diabetic patients, they usually suffer from fungal infection. Fungal infection in between your toe web spaces. So when you see whitish color in between your toe web space or some foul smell, that is usually because of fungal infection. Again, if your sugars are high, you are very prone to get fungal infection in the vaginal area or for males in the penile area. So at that time, you might have slight whitish discharge, there might be slight foul odor, and slight itching will be there. So all these things are usually seen in patients who have diabetes. So to prevent this, first of all, your sugar should always be in good control. It's not only about talking about a day or two. There should be a chronic control of sugars. That means over a period of months together, your sugars should stay in control. So more high blood sugars, more chances of you getting fungal and bacterial infections. Okay. And again, exercise. Patients with diabetes, it's very important to exercise your joints daily once. So, and physiotherapy can also be helpful. Again, the other thing for diabetics would be to moisturize your skin properly. Okay. Venkatesh Niru Vatla has asked us natural remedies for melasma face tips. I think I've already answered your question, Mr. Venkatesh. Mr. Pankaj Kedar, as a member of comment reading. Okay, Miss Samira Reddy has asked, hello ma'am, hi Samira, which body lotion is good for 6 months baby which can keep baby skin away from dryness? Yes, Samira, any moisturizer which is has ceramides, which has cholesterol in it, palmitic acid, these are good for baby skin. You can use one of these moisturizers. Make sure you give a bath with lukewarm water, follow it up with a moisturizer within 3 minutes of giving bath, and then apply it night once before bed. It will be very helpful. Okay. Okay, Sunil Madan has asked us, ma'am, can you please suggest any exercise to delay wrinkles around the eyes and double chin? Any creams which you can suggest for the same? Okay, Sunil, not for the eyes, but for the double chin, there are some exercises which will help you in preventing the formation of double chin here, submental fat. You can protrude your jaw and then take it back. That has to be at least 10 times, morning, afternoon and evening. For the eyes, I'm not sure what are the good exercises. If I get to know something, definitely I'll update you here, okay? Okay, now Mr. Mohammed Jamshid, how to reduce scalp itching, doctor? I wash my hair 2 times a day without any shampoo. So Mr. Mohammed, I think the itching most commonly what you must be having is associated with dandruff. So there is no need to wash your hair twice a day. If you're washing it daily, if you have oily scalp, you can use a mild cleanser and wash it daily. Once it's enough. You can use a ketoconazole lotion in the night, at least alternate days, which will help you with your dandruff and it will reduce the itching. You can use some oil like coconut oil, or this oil will also again provide hydration. Use coconut oil 1 or 2 hours before you take head bath, and then wash it off with a shampoo. Again, your shampoo should be an anti-dandruff shampoo which should contain ketoconazole or zinc pyridinone or cyclopyros. Your doctor will be able to help you out more with the shampoo, but you can start off at least with the oil therapy and ketoconazole lotion. Okay, Mr. Suresh Surya has asked how to reduce hair fall. Okay, hair fall, Suresh, first of all, work on your diet. Have a good protein-rich diet at home. Do not neglect it. Good exercise. Stop smoking. Then there are some biotin containing preparation supplements which you can take, which will also help you out. Okay. Okay, Mr. Anup Sharma has asked, Doctor, any oral tablets available which can hydrate our skin, as we have very highly dry skin? Moisturizer needs to be applied very frequently. Yes, Mr. Anup Sharma, sorry. So, Mr. Anup Sharma, there are some oral moisturizers available. But right now we are not using it a lot. You can definitely add it on to your topical treatment. That means you can take it along with creams and lotions, because they are not very well studied molecules, but there are some molecules which you can use, especially even in India also they are available. Venkatesh Niruvatla. Ma'am, give me some information about glutathione. How many months we can use glutathione tablets? Mr. Venkatesh, so glutathione is very much in now. Glutathione is a molecule which helps in reducing the pigmentation of the skin. This is the same molecule which was used by Kajol to become fair. So, what all we can, glutathione tablets, they are, if you start, you have to use it for minimum of 2 to 3 months to see some effects. 3 months is the duration. I would say safely you can use glutathione for. Now, Mr. Bipin Patel has asked us one question. Thanks, ma'am. You're welcome, Bipin. Nitesh has told, thank you. Thank you. Then Sapna. Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Nikita. Okay, so I think we will stop the session here. If you have any doubts, you can comment on this page. You can contact me on Facebook. I would be more than happy to answer your queries. And I'm telling you again, any of my patients out there, any person who needs help regarding dermatology, they can contact us freely. I'm working in Venkat Center currently in Bangalore. I'll upload the numbers. You don't have to pay any fees. We are just doing it out of our goodwill to help you out. That is all. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Please keep in touch. Any doubts, stay home, stay safe. Any doubts you have, you can put it in the comment box. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.